What's up guys, Alvaro here and welcome to the Bilingual Stock Market channel again. On this channel we talk about the markets and we do it in English and Spanish as well, so you can pick your preferred language. And in this video, and as I do it Mondays through Thursdays, I want to make a quick stock market update. So I want to break down some technicals, going over the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100, but also going over 3 stocks that tomorrow are going to be on the very top of my personal watch list. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. And today, yet again guys, we had a red day all across the board. So the Russell 2000 went down 0.03%. It pretty much broke even. We can make that case. Nasdaq went down 0.25%. Dow Jones also went down 0.43%, and the S&P 500 went down 0.46%, and the bears managed to achieve a small victory in today's trading session because they were able to bring the S&P 500 below 4,500. But we are going to go over the S&P 500 in just a second. And when it comes to the sectors that trade inside the S&P 500, and as I just told you guys, the bears managed to obtain a humble victory in today's trading session. But take a look at what was the best performing sector today. The financial sector, which went up 0.24%. I have already told you plenty of times that this is a very important sector inside the S&P 500. So the fact that the financial sector went up today is bad news for the bears. And why? Well, because the tech sector has been taking a rest in the last 2 trading sessions, and the tech sector and the Nasdaq 100 are no longer overbought. So if tomorrow or if in the course of next week we happen to see the financial sector going up along with the tech sector, then we are going to see another leg higher, most likely. The worst performing sector today was real estate, which is a sector that has been on fire. Real estate went down 0.12%, so there is nothing wrong with the real estate sector going down today. And by the way, today we had a new pandemic low when it comes to jobless claims, which came out at 310,000 new claims, below the estimate of 335,000, which at the same time was a decline from the previous week's 345,000 jobless claims. So we had good news when it comes to jobless claims, but you guys know that good news is bad news for the market, so we had a red day today. And before going over the S&P 500, I want to show you a trade that I broke down in yesterday's video and that I was able to take on a successful way in today's trading session, Fubo TV. So in the case of Fubo, which by the way guys went up today 2.54%, and if you guys remember, I told you in yesterday's video, watch out for Fubo at $28.20, and take a look at what happened. So I purchased this morning, this was obviously a day trade, I purchased 150 shares at $28.22, pretty much the enterprise that I told you guys about in yesterday's video. So I backed these 150 shares, paying $4,232, and I sold out of these 150 shares at $29.33. So and I was paid $4,000. So I ended up making 170 bucks. It was, yeah, we can make the case that this was a base hit. I have been making money on a consistent basis throughout this week. This was not a fortune, obviously, but this was a base hit, and remember that base hits put you in the Hall of Fame. And when it comes to the S&P 500, and as I just told you, this index went down today 0.46%, and it closed today's trading session at 4,493 points. Okay, what is going on over here, and what could potentially happen tomorrow? The first thing that is worth pointing out is the relative strength index of the S&P. It is at 40 points. It is at a very healthy level. So I am going to zoom in here on the 4-hour chart and take a look at the area in which the bulls managed to find support today in the S&P 500, right at the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. However, the lower support of 4,500 points was broken to the downside. So as I just said in the introduction of this video, this was obviously a positive aspect for the bears. This was a small victory, a humble victory, I would say, for the bears. So the main task for the bears in tomorrow's trading session would be taking the S&P 500 below the next important area of lower support at 4,470 points. That area, 4,470, is a previous area of lower support that acted as such for the S&P 500 back on back on August 27th and also back on August 26th. And on top of that, guys, take a look at how 4,470 coincides with the base, with the lower part of a breakout candle to the upside. From a technical standpoint, whenever an index or whenever a stock is pulling back, the bulls or the bears or the markets in general terms usually find support at areas that acted as breakout areas. It could be a breakout area to the upside or to the downside. So I think that the bulls are very likely to find support tomorrow at 4,470 if that area happens to be visited. And obviously, from a resistance standpoint, if the bulls happen to open tomorrow's trading session below 4,500, then that is going to be obviously the most important area of overhead resistance. And if that area happens to be broken to the upside, I am going to be looking at 45.28, which is an area in which the bulls failed in today's trading session. So we are still on a clear uptrend. We are trading above the moving averages, so there is nothing wrong over here yet. If tomorrow the bears happen to be able to break 4,470 to the downside, then the picture, the reading, the tape is going to start to change. But as of now, there is nothing to be worried about, and obviously the bears managed to obtain a small and humble victory in today's trading session. And in the case of the NDX, of the Nasdaq 100, so the NDX went down today 0.38% and it closed today's trading session at 15,561 points. And take a look at the relative strength index of the Nasdaq 100, guys. It is at 50 points. Keep in mind that back on Tuesday, the relative strength index of the Nasdaq 100 was at 72 points. So the pullback that we have seen in the last 2 days has been very healthy from a technical standpoint. So the NDX is no longer overextended. So what's the most important task for the bears in tomorrow's trading session? They need to take on 15,500 points. That's absolutely critical for the bears in the Nasdaq 100. If 15,500 points happens to be broken to the downside, then obviously, guys, the next important area of lower support, and I'm going to draw a red line over here, is going to be 15,380 points. 15,380 points is a previous area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of the Nasdaq 100 failed back on August 25th, and they also failed back on August 24th. And on top of that, we are talking about a former area of overhead resistance that coincides with the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. So that's the main task for the bears tomorrow, taking on 15,500 points. Until the bears can break to the downside 15,500 points, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this tape. Because clearly, guys, we are on a clear uptrend. We are trading above the moving averages. So unless this area of lower support is broken to the downside, what we are seeing in the case of the NDX is a process of consolidation slightly above a very important area of lower support. So that is what is actually going on in the indices. And yeah, tomorrow is going to be a very, but very interesting day from a technical standpoint. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the first stock of this video, which is going to be AMC Entertainment, which had a phenomenal day today, going up 2.36% and closing today's trading session at $48.52. So I am going to zoom in here on the 4-hour chart, and guys, the golden cross is still affecting AMC Entertainment in a very positive way, no doubt about it. Remember that back on August 27th, a golden cross was formed on the 4-hour chart. You guys can clearly see how the 50 SMA crossed above the 180 SMA. So the bulls, I am going to pull up here real quick let me pull up the 5-day, 5-minute. So take a look at how the bulls are still failing, guys, at $49. $49 has turned into a nightmare for the bulls of AMC Entertainment. And if I zoom, I cannot zoom out here because this is the 5-day, 5-minute. Now let me pull up the 4-hour chart. And guys, we closed today's trading session slightly below the lower line of this uptrending channel on the 4-hour chart. And remember, take a look at how the bulls, and I have been saying this over here, remember that the bulls failed at $49 back on August 25th, then they failed at 49 bucks back on September 1st, and yesterday they also failed at $49 and today as well. So keep in mind that the longer the bulls try to take on an area of resistance, the more likely they are to finally burst above that area of overhead resistance. So the tape is looking very, but very bullish for AMC. And I think, guys, I truly believe that if this area of $49 happens to be tested tomorrow, this is going to be the fifth occasion in which the bulls are going to try to burst above $49. I think that they are going to be able to burst above that area of overhead resistance and finally fill the gap up to the next important area of overhead resistance at $52, which, as I have told you plenty of times here on the channel, is a previous area of lower support that already acted as such for AMC on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 occasions in the course of June. So the tape is looking extremely bullish. We can see the relative strength index of AMC at 66 points, very but very healthy. In AMC terms, we can say that when it comes to any other stock, if I see the relative strength index at 66 points, I am going to say like, wow, this relative strength index is a bit high. But in the case of AMC, guys, in AMC terms, this is a very healthy relative strength index, and I believe that we are going to see $52 sooner rather than later. And now let's go ahead and take a look at Bbig. And I gotta be honest with you, Vinco Ventures, I never remember the name of the stock of this company. Vinco Ventures went up today 5.87%, and it closed today's trading session, guys, at $10.82. And take a look at these, guys. I am going to pull up here Robinhood again. I am going to pull up Bbig or Vinco Ventures or whatever this company does or whatever the name of this company is. Who cares, right? This is just a meme stock. Take a look at this. I am going to pull up the call options that expire on next Friday, because take into account that the stock of this company is trading as of now at $10.71. So I think that this, it is a bit lower after hours. Nothing crazy. Okay, so let me go back here. September 17. So take a look, guys, at the open interest of the call option with a strike price of $11. Let me pull up here. The open interest, guys, is 26,121. Keep in mind, and for those who are not familiar with options, that an open interest above 1,000 or 2,000 is already a very high open interest. That implies that as of now, someone owns, or as of now, we have 26,121 call options opened, or contracts opened, of Bbig. What's the name of the company? Vinca Ventures. There you go. So we have 26,121 call options that expire on next Friday. That, by the way, is going to be quadruple Whitsun. Keep that in mind. September 17. I mean, not this Friday, but the Friday after that. And so we have a lot of people, guys, in summary, taking a gamble on the fact that Bbig is going to be at $11 or above $11 on September 17. I mean, the open interest is absolutely insane. So, I don't know, guys. I mean, someone is really taking a huge gamble on Bbig, and is the stock of this company going to be higher than $11 on September 17? It looks like someone, or a lot of people, are very confident about it. Okay, now from a trading perspective, I am going to, let me first of all take a look at the relative strength index. It is at 63 points. Take a look at this, guys. The relative strength index, the RSI of Vinca Ventures, went up to 95 points. God almighty. This was back on August 27. So the fact that the relative strength index, the RSI of Vinca Ventures, as of now, is at 63 points implies that the stock of this company, of this meme stock, is at a very healthy spot from a relative strength index standpoint. I don't know, guys. This is absolutely crazy. So watch out tomorrow for Vinca Ventures, because if the stock of this company happens to pay a visit to $9.60, which is an area of lower support that already acted as such for the stock of this company today and also in yesterday's trading session. But we are also talking about a former area of resistance in which the bulls of Bbig failed back on September 2nd. I think that that's a very attractive spot in order to pick up 100, 200, I don't know, 300 shares of Vinca Ventures. I know that some people loaded up on calls today. I am not going to buy call options of Vinca Ventures because I mean, I haven't checked on the implied volatility, but it must be very high. So I am not going to pay an expensive price for call options of Vinca Ventures, but I am going to be tempted, no doubt about it, in order to pick up some shares. So $9.60 is not only an area of lower support that acted as such today and yesterday, it is also a previous area of overhead resistance. But take a look at how the 50 SMA on the 1 hour chart is coinciding with this area of $9.60. So my plan is purchasing shares of Vinca Ventures at $9.60, in which case my price target is going to be the next important area of overhead resistance for this meme stock at $11.89. $11.89 is an area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of this stock failed back on September 8th, and they also failed back on September 1st. So if I were able to take this trade the way that I am describing it, picking up some shares at $9.60 and selling out of those shares at $11.89, I could be making a profit of 18%. So no doubt about it, this is going to be the stock that is going to be on the very, very, very top of my personal watch list tomorrow. And the last stock of this video is going to be good old Apple. And in the case of Apple, the stock, I was going to say, yeah, the stock of this company, this is the most important stock of the world, guys. This is the most important stock of the United States stock market. So Apple went down today 0.67%, and it closed today's trading session at $154.07. And guys, Apple got absolutely overbought in recent days. We saw the relative strength index of Apple at 78 points. It got too far, too fast, and now it is pulling back, which is very, but very healthy. So I am going to zoom in here on the 4 hour chart. And guys, if the bears tomorrow happen to have another good day, let's say that the NDX happens to be broken to the downside from 15,500 points, and let's say that the S&P 500 can't hold 44.70, I think that we might see Apple paying a visit down to $151. $151 is a previous area of lower support that acted as such for Apple back on September 1st, but we are also talking about a former area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of Apple felt back in mid-August. This was back on August 16. And take a look at how the 50 SMA and the 4-hour chart is coinciding with these previous areas, of support and resistance. So if Apple happens to pay a visit to this area, $151.70 each, I think that we might expect buyers to step in. So if I purchase shares of Apple at $151.70, then my price target is going to be the next foreseeable area of overhead resistance for Apple near $156.27. So if I were able to take this trade the way that I am describing it, picking up shares of Apple at $151.88 and selling out of those shares at $156 each, I could be making a profit of almost 2.8%, a very solid profit. And in the case of the overhead resistance that I just pointed out, $156, we are talking about an area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of Apple failed back on September 8th. So watch out for Apple, guys. I think that $151.80 each is an area that we can expect to provide a good support for the bulls of this stock. And yeah, man, that is just the truth of the matter, guys. Let's see what happens tomorrow with the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500, because if we happen to see another red day in those two indices, we might see Apple paying a visit down to $151.80. And with Apple, I am going to wrap up the video. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for hanging out with me once again. Remember and keep in mind, guys, that here on the Bilingual Stock Market channel, we are posting stock market update videos Mondays through Thursdays, 3 or 4 hours after the market closes. So if you want to get all of the notifications of all of our videos in a timely manner, you have to be subscribed to the channel, but you also need to activate the notification bell right up there. Follow us on Instagram as well, guys, at Bilingual Stock Market. And remember that this is the Bilingual Stock Market channel, the YouTube channel in which we talk about the markets, but we do it in English and Spanish as well, so you can pick your preferred language. But most importantly, this is the YouTube channel in which we know that the wonderful world of Wall Street is not for geniuses, it is for entrepreneurs just like you guys and myself. My name is Alvaro, and I will see you guys once again on Sunday. Remember that here on the Bilingual Stock Market channel, we are also posting stock market updates videos, but no, in the case of the video that we are going to post on Sunday, it is going to be a stock market video. So don't miss it out. See you guys on Sunday. Bye.